Most men wake up and immediately reach for their phone. They scroll through notifications, check what everyone else is doing, and within 5 minutes of opening their eyes, they have already handed control of their day to someone else. That is not how winners operate. The first hour of your morning determines the trajectory of your entire day, and by extension, your entire life. There is a reason the most successful men on this planet guard their mornings like a fortress. They do not stumble into greatness by accident. They engineer it through deliberate, non-negotiable habits that most people would never commit to. What I am about to share with you are 5 morning habits that create a visible, measurable gap between the men who dominate their fields and the men who spend their lives reacting to whatever the world throws at them. These are not theories. These are practiced daily by CEOs, elite athletes, special forces operators, and the top 1% of performers across every discipline. If you adopt even 3 of these starting tomorrow, you will feel the shift within a week. Adopt all 5, and within 90 days, you will not recognize the man staring back at you in the mirror. There is a reason every Navy SEAL, Fortune 500 CEO, and world-class performer you have ever studied wakes up before the sun. It is not about suffering. It is about sovereignty. When you rise at 5 in the morning, you claim a block of time that belongs entirely to you. No emails demanding responses. No colleagues needing something. No distractions pulling you in 12 different directions. That silence is not empty. It is loaded with potential. Tim Cook is at his desk by 4:30. Dwayne Johnson hits the gym before 5. Jocko Willink posts his watch reading 4:35 every single morning. These men did not arrive at that habit by coincidence. They understand something that sleep researchers at the University of Toronto confirmed in a 2012 study. Early risers report higher levels of proactive behavior, greater life satisfaction, and a stronger sense of personal agency. The psychological mechanism is straightforward. When you wake up before the world demands anything from you, your prefrontal cortex gets to operate in a state of calm focus rather than reactive urgency. You are making decisions from a position of strength, not scrambling to keep up. Your brain has not yet been hijacked by dopamine hits from notifications or stress hormones from an overflowing inbox. Here is how you start. Tonight, set your alarm for 5. Place your phone across the room so you have to physically stand up to turn it off. Lay out your clothes the night before. When that alarm fires, your feet hit the floor. No negotiation. No snooze button. That first act of discipline sets the tone for every decision you make for the rest of the day. Within 10 minutes of waking up, step into a cold shower. Not lukewarm. Cold. This is not about comfort. This is about building the kind of mental architecture that makes you dangerous in every area of life. When freezing water hits your body, your sympathetic nervous system fires hard. Your breath wants to go shallow and panicked. Every instinct screams at you to get out. And that is exactly the point. The moment you choose to stay, you are training your brain to override discomfort with discipline. Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford has explained extensively how deliberate cold exposure triggers a massive release of norepinephrine and dopamine, up to 250% above baseline, and that elevation lasts for hours. This is not a temporary spike like caffeine gives you. This is a sustained neurochemical shift that sharpens focus, elevates mood, and builds genuine resilience. Wim Hof built an empire around this principle. Special operations candidates use cold water immersion as a selection tool because it reveals who can maintain composure when their body is screaming to quit. Tony Robbins has plunged into cold water every morning for decades and credits it as a cornerstone of his energy and mental clarity. The transfer effect is what matters most. When you have already done something difficult before 7 in the morning, the challenges of the day shrink in comparison. A hard conversation at work, a demanding negotiation, a setback in your business. None of it hits the same when you have already proven to yourself that you can withstand discomfort by choice. Start with 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your regular shower tomorrow morning. Add 15 seconds each week until you reach 2 full minutes. Do not ease into it. Turn the handle all the way and stand there. Breathe through it. That is where the growth lies. Your body was not designed to sit in a chair for 16 hours. It was built to move, to push, to carry, to endure. And when you train first thing in the morning before you eat, you tap into a physiological state that most men never access. Fasted morning exercise forces your body to mobilize stored fat for fuel because glycogen levels are depleted from the overnight fast. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that participants who exercised before breakfast burned up to 20% more body fat compared to those who ate first. But the physical benefits are only half the equation. The real value is neurological. Exercise floods your brain with brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which Dr. John Rady at Harvard Medical School calls miracle grow for the brain. It enhances learning, sharpens memory, and accelerates cognitive processing for hours after the session ends. Mark Wahlberg trains at 4 in the morning. David Goggins runs before dawn. The Rock has logged thousands of pre-sunrise workouts. These men are not training at that hour because it is convenient. They are doing it because they understand that physical discipline is the foundation that every other form of discipline is built on. When you push your body through a hard workout before the rest of the world has even opened their eyes, you walk into your day carrying a different energy. Your posture changes. Your confidence elevates. Your stress tolerance increases because cortisol has been metabolized through movement rather than left to circulate and create anxiety. Tomorrow morning, commit to 45 minutes of training before your first meal. It does not need to be a gym session, bodyweight circuits, a loaded ruck, a sprint session. What matters is that you push hard enough to sweat, hard enough to feel resistance, and you do it before you consume anything other than water. After you have trained your body, sit down and train your mind. This is not writing in a diary about your feelings. This is strategic architecture. You are designing the day before it designs you. High performers across every industry use morning journaling as a command center for their focus and priorities. Benjamin Franklin asked himself every morning, "What good shall I do this day?" Ray Dalio journals his principles and decision frameworks daily. Tim Ferriss has spoken repeatedly about how his morning journaling practice is the single habit he would keep if he had to eliminate everything else. The science supports them. A study from the Dominican University of California found that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them compared to those who simply think about them. Writing activates the reticular activating system in your brain, which is the filter that determines what information gets prioritized. When you write your targets down, your brain literally begins scanning for opportunities and resources aligned with those targets throughout the day. Here is the framework that works. Grab a notebook, not your phone, and write 3 things. First, your top 3 priorities for the day. Not 10, not 7, 3. The ones that, if accomplished, would make the day a victory regardless of what else happens. Second, write 1 thing you are grateful for. Gratitude is not soft. Research from UC Davis shows it measurably reduces cortisol and increases mental resilience. Third, write 1 sentence about who you are becoming. This is identity-level programming. You are not just planning tasks. You are reinforcing the version of yourself you are building toward. This takes 10 minutes. 10 minutes of intentional thought that separates a man who moves with purpose from a man who drifts through his hours reacting to whatever lands in front of him. The average man spends the first 30 to 60 minutes of his day consuming content that was engineered to steal his attention and sell it to advertisers. He scrolls through highlight reels of other people living their lives while his own remains exactly where it was yesterday. Winners do the opposite. They feed their mind with material that compounds into wisdom, skill, and strategic advantage. Warren Buffett has famously said he reads 5 to 6 hours per day and credits reading as the single most important habit of his career. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science through books before he ever started SpaceX. The research is unambiguous. A study from the University of Sussex found that just 6 minutes of reading reduces stress levels by 68%, more than listening to music, going for a walk, or drinking tea. Reading also strengthens neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for complex decision-making, long-term planning, and impulse control, the exact qualities that separate high-value men from average ones. Meanwhile, social media consumption first thing in the morning does the opposite. It triggers comparison, activates the default mode network associated with rumination and anxiety, and fragments your attention before you have even used it for anything productive. A 2023 study from the American Psychological Association confirmed that morning social media use correlates with increased anxiety and reduced productivity for the remainder of the day. Here is your implementation. Delete social media apps from your phone or use an app blocker that locks them until noon. Replace that 30 minutes with reading. Keep a book on your nightstand. Audiobooks and podcasts count if you are committing to material that genuinely educates. Business strategy, psychology, biography, philosophy. Anything that makes you sharper, more informed, and harder to manipulate. Within 30 days of this switch, the quality of your thinking will change so noticeably that people around you will start asking what you are doing differently. These 5 habits are not complicated, but they require something most men are not willing to give, which is consistency when it is not convenient. Waking up early is simple. Doing it every single day when your bed is warm and nobody is watching is where character is forged. Cold showers are free. Choosing discomfort over comfort when there is no audience is what builds an unshakable mind. If this video gave you something real, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because every video on this channel is built to give you the tools and the mindset to operate at a level most men will never reach. Drop a comment below telling me which habit you are implementing first. I read every single one, and I want to know who in this audience is actually about action and not just consumption. Share this with one man in your life who needs to hear it. That is how we raise the standard. I will see you in the next one.